Good morning, team.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, so I request you all to quickly please switch on your cameras. Hi, Farhana, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, good morning and welcome to this session. And I see it's your first day, right?
Yes.
Okay, so Farhana, we will be starting with the session like in the next 2-3 minutes. Now, you're requested to please keep your cameras on during the session to make the session and interaction with the trainer, more better and helpful to you.
Okay. But can you give me like 5 minutes?
Yes,
to
yes,
turn
yes.
on the camera?
Yeah, please take your time, but it's just a request if you can switch it on.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning.
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 Okay, and let's start with the. Yesterday we were talking about OOPS concepts, right? Hello.
Yes.
Okay. Did anyone complete the assignments?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If you have it on GitHub, please provide me the GitHub link so that I can review in my daytime whenever I have time to review it, right?
Yeah, I just shared you the link.
You have already given it to me.
Okay. Thank you.
Anyone else? Anyone else have uploaded it on GitHub?
Can I share it to you later because I haven't uploaded on GitHub?
Yeah, you can whenever you have time. Just upload it and share it to me, okay?
Yep. All right.
Or you can provide to Sachi on email or through Sachi and she can forward it to me. Okay, so we'll move on ahead again with the same concepts of object-oriented programming. and then I'll just give you a little bit of overview, and then we'll move on to the ones that we left out yesterday. Okay? Sounds good?
Yeah.
So yesterday we spoke about object-oriented programming. So object-oriented programming is a language model organized around objects rather than actions and data rather than logic. It simplifies software development and maintenance by providing the following concept: object, polymorphism, inheritance, encapsulation, and abstraction. Now, yesterday we already saw what object is. An object is an instance of a class. It has three characteristics: state, behavior, and identity. It can be created using the method name new, right? And then object-oriented programming concept, polymorphism. What does polymorphism means? Ability of an object to take many forms. Yes. Now it can be performed using overloading and overriding. Polymorphism can be of two types: compile time and runtime. Yes. Correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we saw the method overloading also. Inheritance. Now, inheritance provides a natural mechanism of organizing and structuring classes, using which subclasses inherit attributes and services from their superclass, may add new attributes and services, reuse the code in the superclass, provide specialized behavior, overriding and dynamic binding, partially define and implement common behaviors, abstract. We have seen this, right? Now we will talk about first abstract, and then we'll talk about abstraction, and then we'll talk about what is abstraction, and then we'll see the abstract classes also. Okay. Now let's move on to abstraction. This one, abstraction. Hiding internal details and showing functionality is known as abstraction. For example, an employee of a company with hidden mobile number, salary, and address. In Java, we use abstract class and interface to achieve abstraction. Okay. So as it's already mentioned, right? It is a process of hiding the implementation details from the user. Only the functionality will be provided to the user. In other words, user will have the information on what object does instead of how it does. Okay. So basically, if your program name is, say, for example, calculate interest, right? Yes. You will only know that this particular program will calculate interest and provide you the details. But you don't know the internal implementation of that particular method. Getting it?
Yeah.
It's like most of the things that we use in our real world, right? Most of the things that we use, we know how to use them, but we know what is the purpose of them, but we don't know how they are implemented, correct? Or how they are created. Anything. It can be your electronic item also. If you see them, you don't know how it is created, yes? Or why does it work the way it is working? But we know, yes, this is the purpose of it, and we can utilize it for these things. Same way is abstraction. Now, abstraction, which contains abstract keyword, okay, as I already told you. Now, how is abstraction achieved? It is achieved using abstract classes and interfaces, yes?
Yes.
Okay. Now, abstract classes in Java, abstract classes may or may not contain abstract methods, but that is methods without body. Okay. Now, what is an abstract class? An abstract class is a class which does not have a body. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So the class which does not have a body is known as abstract class. Now, you have seen the implementation. Wait, let me show you. Have you ever gone through the Java API documentation? Anyone? Can you see Google Chrome?
Yes.
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 If you see here, see anything in Java, everything about Java is mentioned over here in Oracle Java SC 8 Docs API. This can be this is version 8. If you have any other version to check, you can check that too. Now over here in this particular API documentation, you'll find the list of all the packages that are there. Okay, wait, let me show it to you. Let me come down. You might have you guys are you guys aware about this AWT and all? Have you heard of them?
This is the first time.
First time? Okay. So you are aware that you have this web pages and all, right? whatever we have. Say, for example, this web page. You know the language that is used behind it for implementation? What is used over here? Any idea anyone has? Have you heard of HTML?
Yep.
Yeah. Have you
Yep.
heard of CSS?
Yep.
Yep.
So everything that is on the, see, let me show you. See, everything that is there, right? This is basically the logic that has been written is in your, maybe, is there a script here? Tick, 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 tick. Can you see any script here? Not like this, a script tag, no. So basically, if you go down, no. Tick, tick, tick. Okay, you see over here, what is it? Doc type, what is the tag?
HTML.
HTML. Everything that is written on the front page, it is HTML. Okay. Now this HTML is used in your Selenium also, and I'll tell you how to use it. Okay. And at the end, it will be closed with an HTML tag. So if you are going for a testing interview, that to automation, you should be aware about HTML also. I cannot explain you in this limited time all the HTML. I would suggest you go to HTML W3 schools and read about this tutorial. It will be very helpful to you if you're looking for automation testing. Okay.
Okay.
Now, if you see over here, you have generally what do you find in an automation page? See, let me show you. You might, I don't know if you have heard these terms or not, but see, you're seeing this. What do you call them in your in normal language? What do we call them?
Menu bar.
Menu bar. Now this menu bar can also be is also created using HTML. This entire thing, this is called as drop down. This drop down is created using HTML. Then you have this particular search box which is created using HTML. Then this search box is known as your text box or input box. This all those things which you are seeing over here, this is all through HTML. And why I'm saying it is because see, generally if you see automation, what does automation do? All the basic steps. If I want to say, for example, search for a mobile, say let me search it under 10,000. Okay. So what is my test case? I want to open Amazon.com. I want to go to this box. I just want to type mobile under 10,000 and I should validate if results are coming up or not. Even if one result is coming, that is good for me. Yes. And how would I validate the correct result is coming? I have to check the amount, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Anything below 10,000, anything above 10,000 means the test case is failing. See, this is taking it as 10,099,999. And I have given under 10,000, right? Also, so how do you check this? Say, for example, if I want to validate this, let me do a right click. Let me click on inspect and see. If you see here, I'm telling you this because, you know, I have to talk about abstraction also. So I'll show you what does an implementation means. Okay. So if you see here, see, you're seeing this value 599. Yeah.
Yep.
Somehow in our automation, I have to achieve or I have to write a piece of code that can fetch me this value and give it to me, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. And then we'll compare this value with less than 10,000. And then if it is less than 10,000, we can say that it is pass, correct?
Yeah.
So this is what we do in this one. And this HTML you should go through. There's also one more thing with HTML, which is known as your cascading tile sheets, and they go hand in hand. Okay. You require them with HTML to create a page because they will have more details. So what you can do, whenever you guys have time, try to go through these also because this will all help you in finding out and inspecting more elements when you tackle with the page. Okay. So why we came over here was, now these days they use HTML and CSS to create a web page, but your Java also gives you an option of creating a web page. You can see this AWT color, event, font. Yes. So there is also a way which you write in Java program, and you can see that when you click on executing it or compiling it, you will find that a page has been displayed. The result will come colorful. Okay, so these are your AWT classes, and this applet and all also is used into the same thing. Now, packages, not classes, packages. Now see, in these packages, you'll also find you have normal common packages, lang, okay? You have math, you have IO, okay? So you see, these are the packages that you generally use. You have util package, okay? Coming down, anything else? Mostly you'll use these packages if you're using simple core Java programming. So you see all the packages information is provided here. We were talking about classes. Now see, you have all classes which are being created over here. Yes, let me click on any one of the basic classes that we can talk about. And okay, one more thing that I'll show you. There's a class known as object class, okay? That class is the parent class of all the classes in Java. Okay? I think
Okay.
we didn't talk about yesterday about it. Let's see. OP. Object. Yes. See, you will, when you click on here, whatever you want to talk, whatever you want to read about more, right? This is the actual documentation of Java. Okay. So you see class, object, which package it comes under? Java.lang. Okay. Now you see public class object. What is the access modifier of it? Public. Now, class object is the root of class hierarchy. Every class object has a superclass. All object, including arrays, implements the methods of this particular class. Now, see, it will also show you what are the methods that you can implement with this particular class. What is the constructor detail? We'll talk about constructors, okay? What does this each method gives you, how it has been implemented, what will it return you if there's a return value, and what will it perform and give you. Same way you can go and check for any of the classes. For example, let us go here. Have you heard of the class name string? Guys,
No, first time.
is it? You guys have not heard of a string?
Um,
string?
I think I've used that before, but yeah, but in the lecture, yeah, today, first time.
No, I'm not covered up in the lecture, but okay.
The overall, I mean, if for my experience, yeah, first time.
Okay.
Another
Anyone else?
another thing, Savita, what is what do you call, for example, there's after the access modifier,
Uh-huh.
there is another word like final or static, right? What they call, what's the name of that?
These are
Like
just keywords, man.
keywords.
Yeah,
Okay.
they are just keywords, okay? Static is a keyword, final is a keyword, okay?
Okay.
Can you see at Eclipse also?
Yeah.
1 second, let me see, where is that keynote? The point is, the level at which you guys are, right? At this level, if I see, you guys really need knowledge transfer for a little longer time, okay? To be really honest. This is okay. So going on, we use abstract classes and interfaces. Now let's go to encapsulation. Wait, abstraction, as I told you, you will have abstract classes and then you can use interfaces. If you see in this page also, you will find, I was about to show you, yeah, you see this one, string. Now see, it implements how many interfaces? Serializable, care sequence, and comparable. Let me click on one of the interface. Okay. Now, what is interface? See, these are this is interface serializable, and you have these sub interfaces, and these are the number of sub interfaces. You don't have to remember all. If anything you need in future, you can go and see it over here, but generally we don't need it. Okay. Now, see here, you will have the definition of all of it. Now, what does an interface has? An interface will always have your abstract classes. Okay, something which you implement. Now see, there are two things. First is in inheritance you use what? Extend. Yes, remember the two keywords, extend and implement. So you use extend for inheritance, you use implement for interfaces. Yes,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
yeah.
can someone tell me, is multiple inheritance possible in Java? What do you mean by multiple inheritance?
Multiple inheritance classes in one file.
No, what does multiple inheritance in general mean? Any idea anyone has?
I
General,
think something to do with multiple superclass. I mean, for
yes, it's
building the
multiple
superclass.
in common language or in layman language, what will you do? You are inheriting from two parents or more than two parents, right?
Yeah, I think so.
If I tell you that, your uncle is also leaving a property for you, your aunt is also leaving something for you in her will, your mother is also leaving something from you, and your father is also leaving something for you. Can you inherit all those four things that they're leaving for you in future?
Yeah.
Yes, you can inherit it, right? But in Java, that is not possible, guys. Java does not allow multiple inheritance. You can inherit it or you can extend only one class. Getting it? See, for example, we
Right.
extended mid override. If you think that you can inherit it from two and you just type, say, let's take any other class, say day one, code one, right? You can't do that. Okay. You cannot ever inherit from multiple classes in Java. Java allows only single inheritance. But then how does multiple inheritance achieved in Java? How do we achieve it in Java? Any idea anybody has? No? So we use inherit interfaces. Okay? With implements, if instead of extend, I give it an implements, okay? It'll give me an error, I think, because this is not an interface. Okay, see, it's giving me error, right? This is not an interface. Okay, so I can only use extend over here with classes. Now I have to create an interface inside my package and I have to implement that interface. Now, where is it used? Okay, I'll also tell you where it is used. So in basically in your code, you have created two different files. So if you're creating classes, say for example, Now see, I have two interfaces, yes? Correct? Now,
Yes, yes.
tell me, when we create a method like this or like this, right? Calculate loan charges for loan less than 10 lakhs. There's a difference when we create it in a proper class, and there is a difference when we created it on a interface. Okay. Can someone tell me what is the difference? Anyone? No? Let me show you, okay, one of the methods that we have written. We've written this method here, right? You see this? What are they called? Opening braces? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, see, you can consider this as your class. See, this is your method name. Yes? The number of arguments in the method. This is your, whatever inside this comes up, this is known as your body of the method. Yes? But if you look into the phases where I've given abstract keyword, do you see any body?
No.
No.
No? Now let me put a body. See, the moment I kept a body, it started giving me a, though it is an empty body, it started giving me error. What is the error saying? Change calculate on FD to default, change calculate integer to static, or remove method body. So if I'm keeping abstract keyword, it does not want a
Nobody.
nobody. Why? Because anything that you make abstract, you have to implement it later. Okay, the method I mean. Now, where is this used? For example, say these are the methods. Now you consider in India, the highest bank that is called as RBI. Okay. Now say RBI is the one that makes a decision for all the other banks in India. Okay. Now RBI has declared few methods. Okay, understand it. RBI has declared its own few methods which says calculate your loans less than 10 lakhs, calculate charges for loans less than 10 lakhs, calculate charges for more than 1 crore. Okay, and it gives you a small percentage which each bank can decide. Though the major rule is decided by RBI, say for example, it says you can charge only maximum you can charge is 1 lakh for more than 1 crore the charges. Okay, but I also provide you a range between 1 to 5%, where depending upon the bank or depending upon your choices, you can charge an extra amount. Okay. So implementation for every bank will differ then. 1 lakh plus some charges, whatever they decide. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Or let me give you an example, one more. Okay. For example, if I give this to you and I tell you, guys, I only give you that, guys, calculate the area and let me know. Right? I'm not telling you what area. So someone will pick what? Area of a square? Yes?
Yeah.
You can pick up area of circle? Your own choices, right? I'm not telling you which one to do. I just want any area that you calculate and give me. It's a square, it's a rectangle, it's a rhombus, it's a circle, it does not matter to me. So based on whatever formula you find easy. Now most of us remember is circles formula pi r square, right? So you go ahead. Few of them will be like, okay, for me, square is easy. I'll write a code for square. Now someone thinks, no, I'll write a complicated code and I'm going to go for, I'll find first the formula for calculating the area of a rhombus or a quadrilateral or whatever it is, or a triangle, and then I come up and give it to you, right? So that is called what? The implementation or adding the body of an abstract class or an abstract method. Okay, interface from interfaces. So now, if I click one more class over here, okay, if I do it, I have to provide. It will be mandatory for me to provide the implementation for these method, which is there. So the for loan charges calculation, the method is what? Calculate area. Now in my class, the one that I have, see, it's giving me error, right? Not this one, sorry. Yeah, yeah. I have to provide the implementation for this particular method. Now I can provide it here. Okay, might be giving some error. Yeah. Let's see, what is it giving? Package. There's something that is going on here. Okay. Okay, now I have to provide a body for it. Now I have to give a definition for it. Always remember, if you have abstract classes and if you're implementing it. Now see, if again I go ahead and I implement another class, okay? Another class which implements this particular loan charges, right? Or another interface that was implementing your base loan, and now you're going to implement that interface. What you can do? Now the next time when you inherit the second interface, it can provide the implementation. Now your this class doesn't have to, but whatever is doing ending the implementation, that should provide the body of the particular abstract methods. Okay, always remember, until you don't provide it, it is going to fail. Okay, or it's going to give you error. Now this is how you achieve abstraction. You create them abstract, and then you also, you can actually hide the implementation of particular methods. Okay. Also, now we have seen is till here we have seen abstract methods. There's also a thing called as abstract class. If I make this class an abstract, let me remove this implementation. Okay, just let me make this class an abstract, and let me keep this as, now this will become a new method. Now this class abstract, that means I am creating methods which are abstract. Sorry, I'm creating methods inside it, and this is how I hide the implementation of particular methods that are inside this class. Okay, getting it?
Got it. So like, when we make it abstract, right? I mean,
Yeah.
like as a developer, we can see it, right? But
As a
how
developer,
do
you
we?
can see, but other person will not be able to see it. You will not be able to, you know, wait a second.
Mhm.
So as a developer, as a developer, you can see it, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, but if someone else is doing it, right, this entire thing will be hidden, because see, we downloaded the jar files, right? Can you see the implementation of all the methods that are there in java.lang? You're using these keywords, right? How do you think these keywords are created? They also have an implementation, correct? Behind?
Mhm.
Yes. Are you able to see the implementation of each and everything?
No, I don't think so.
No, right? So
Yeah.
when you provide it to someone else, you are not going to give them. For example, even your automation framework, okay? If the client provides it to you, and if the client provides it to you, you're not going to have entire implementation of everything. Okay? Can be, they may hide it, right? They don't want you to change the basic classes. This base classes that you're creating, they will not want you to change it, right? They'll only tell it, okay, fine, just go and use these methods that we have created and implement and write the test scripts. It
Okay.
happens. So for example, when you're working with multiple, okay, I'll give you an example. How is it? Okay, when you work in a client project and there's another vendor that is working for it, right? What the vendor does, say for example, it's working before you came in, you pitched in before that particular vendor was working. Now the framework that is being used by that framework is by that vendor is something that client asks you to use. Okay. Now they don't want you to know the entire implementation. They provide you a KT session, how we are having now. They provide you a KT session for say 3 to 4 days or a week, and they tell you this is how it is being implemented. And to utilize this, these are the things that you can do. Yes?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So what you will do? They'll not provide you all the implementation. They'll give you a particular jar file. They'll tell you, please download this, add it over there. You will be able to access all our methods. You'll be able to access them, but they will not be able to change them, guys. And this is where your abstraction, encapsulation, your access modifiers, your keywords like final, they are being used.
Got it. Got it.
Got it? Okay, let's move on. We have more to cover up, guys. Okay. Oh, where are we? Okay. Encapsulation is mechanism for wrapping for variables and methods together as a single unit. In encapsulation, variables from a class will be hidden from outer class and can be only accessed by methods. One sec. Where is it? And can only be accessed by the method of the same class. Using encapsulation, a field in class can be made read only or read and write only via the methods and not directly. Okay. How do you achieve encapsulation? Any idea? Anybody has?
Is it by using private keyword?
You achieve it by using private keyword.
Access mode.
Yes. For example, let me make this class method as private. Okay. Now, I made this method as private. Now, let me you create one more class. Now, let's, if you want to access the previous method, what you'll do? Extends. And what is it? Loan charges, right? Now, generally what we do, if you want, if you want to utilize any method which is there inside this, we create a, what is this called, guys?
Object.
Instance.
And what happened? Okay, this is an abstract class, right? Let me remove it. See, it gave me an error, okay? What did it give me an error as when I went here? See, these are your basic, very basic questions that you might get into your interviews where, you know, I don't know how tricky they ask, but in India, they definitely ask. They give you methods like this where they come and tell you, okay, fine, I've created this class. Can you implement and or can you inherit and show it to me? Now, you know, if it is, if it has the keyword abstract, you will not be able to inherit it. Okay, so you have to tell it that even if you can inherit this class, you will not be able to access anything inside it, because what will happen then? It is not allowing you to create an instance, right? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are very small things that you guys need to understand, that, you know, why it is not allowing us, why it is not letting us know, why abstract has not been implemented, why it has not been extended, or why the methods cannot be narrated. Now, I'll remove just from here for now. I'll remove this abstract and let's keep it as a normal class. Okay. The moment I did that, that error will be gone. Okay. Now, let's go LD dot. What is it? Calculate, right? Do you see the method anywhere, the calculate method?
No.
No. But let's go
No.
back to the charges and let me create another method. Do you see it now?
Yeah.
Yes. Now you can check, now you can utilize this, or you can call this method over here and can run it also from here itself. So whatever is been created, whatever has been mentioned over here, the moment it calls it, just let's go here. Whatever is here, that would be executed. Yes. But that cannot be achieved through private. Now, even for your private methods, if you try to use it here itself, right? Let me show you. Think it should not work. Not sure. Let me just check it. It's been long since I did this. Okay. LD dot. Oh yeah, it'll come, I think. Okay. You can call it here. Okay. But now, if you want to change anything over here, you cannot change it. Whatever you have, you can only just use it here. So private was as one. Same for example, if you have something that you don't want to change, for example, let's create a variable private. Now see, some people what they do is instead of this 3.145, it's a very long value, right? They utilize the entire value. The calculations will change. Yes?
No, I mean, doesn't change, right?
Why not? It will change a little bit. A little bit, it will
Okay,
definitely. Not entire thing I'm talking about.
rounded up figure, right?
Yeah, the rounded up figure. See, it's such a big value, right? Let me utilize it for something. Let me show it to you. Say you have somewhere. What is it? 3.14159265359. What is it? 2816.378, right? Okay. Let's 281.378.139. Let me copy and keep it somewhere. Can I copy it? No, I can't copy it. Hmm. Okay. 281.64.378. Okay. Now let me remove and check it. Then another a simple dot difference will also come, right? But what if I don't want that dot difference also? Okay. So I can just keep it like this, 3.14. Yes, correct?
Yeah,
Yep.
Yeah. Now, if someone else went ahead and they utilize the entire value, the value will change. And for me, the test case will fail if I compare those values from the previous values. Yes.
yes, yes.
Yes. So what I'll do now, I can create this as a private one, and I don't want to declare it anywhere down. Oh, sorry. I don't want it to be used outside these values. So I can only utilize it under a private method. Otherwise, I'll not be able to use it anywhere else or in this particular class. That's it. But I'll not be able to change the value of this. And I'll not be able to even access this particular thing outside the class, only within this class. So we spoke about access modifiers, right? I hope I have the access modifier values somewhere. Wait, let's talk about it. Yeah, here. Okay, we'll go with this one. So packages, a Java package is a collection of sub-packages, interfaces, and classes of a common type. They can be of two types, built-in, user-defined. Keyword package is used to create packages in Java. Some of the important built-in packages in Java are lang, awt, javax, swing, net, io, util. Io is used for what? Input, output? Yes? The moment you create a file or you try to open a file, it will give you a prompt saying that import the package. Okay. So you can use that. Now then you have packages. A package helps in maintaining a categorization of classes and interfaces. It helps in providing access protection by means of required access modifier. It also removes any possibility of naming collision during compilation of the Java file. Then example of package, my package, and all those things. Okay, you are aware of all this, so I'm not going to cover it up. Let's go to the one important topic, which is your access modifier. Now, access modifiers set access level for classes, variables, methods, and constructors. You know what a constructor is, guys? Anyone?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What is a
Uh,
Getter, getter.
constructor, it's a way to assign values. I mean, to the variables within the what do you call a particular class. I mean, if you when instantiating a particular object, you pass in the values,
Mm-hmm.
and the object is created with the parameters we. So that
I've been
constructor,
using, okay, I've been using, sorry to interrupt. I've been using constructor in each class of mine. Can someone tell me where is the constructor in entire program? Any program you open. Say for example, let me open this one for you. Can someone tell me where? Not here. Wait. Can someone tell me where is the constructor? Give me the line number where a constructor is.
36.
35.
35. And which part is the constructor? Which part is the constructor, Adiba, in 35 line? I told you yesterday, when you write a method, right? How do you differentiate this particular thing as a method and not a variable? Because whenever you write a method, what are you going to give? Sorry, yeah. Caps lock got pressed. This, yes. The round brackets tell you or give away that it is a function or a method, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So where are the round brackets in this one? In line number 37 now? Here? Yes.
Yes.
So this is what? A method,
Object.
correct? But a method with the same name as class name
Class. Yes, is constructor.
is called constructor. A method with the same name, with the same as class name, is called your constructor. There is always a default constructor and there are constructor which you can create. Now see, this is a constructor which does not take any arguments. Now, let me put an argument into it, okay? Let me put a 6 here. It's giving me error. What is it telling you? Create constructor. Let me click on this create constructor. See, it created a method with public access modifier and same name as the class name, but with an argument inside it. Now this becomes a constructor which is user defined. Okay, so you can have same, but we spoke yesterday about method overloading, right? Same name methods with different type of arguments.
Yeah.
See, right? Now, when I call this one, instead of method overloading 6, it will go inside this particular constructor. Yes, it will match the argument and it will come here, right? So what is a constructor and why is constructor used? Yes, constructor is used for assigning the values, the default constructor. Also, if you have something that you want to perform specifically with constructor, you can create your own user-defined constructors. Got it? Yes?
Got it. Got it.
Okay.
Yes, got it.
Now, so this is one thing that you have. This is called as constructor. It's important topic, might be asked in interviews and all. Now, they have 4 levels. These are private, default, protected, and public. Let me explain it to you. When you're sitting in an office or when you're outside, let me put it this way. A garden in any community is a public property. They call it a public property, right?
Yes.
Yes. Why it is a public property? Because it can be accessed by anyone. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Correct. Now think in the terms of Java. In Java, what do we have? How do we segregate the programs? So this is just a simple example, but if let me create a structure for you. For example, when we'll talk tomorrow we'll do all coding and all your structure work only, okay? So let me create a Java project and we'll talk about automation over here, okay? Let me create an automation framework for you. Okay. Now it'll have let's create packages. Okay. Wait, sorry. Yeah, inside source. Let's create a package. I created a package, name is pages. Sorry. The default is small always. Okay, pages. Now inside this pages, and then I have a new I'll create another package known as test scripts. Okay. Then let's talk about another package known as utility. I'll keep it only limited for now. Okay. Now see, when you're talking about access modifier, it's coding, right? You'll only utilize it where? When you're calling it inside a class, inside a package, accessing it from a package. Generally, when we say public, private, protected, if the term where I used it with the garden, I gave you an example, that is when you are using it as a person. But when you're using it as a coder or as a developer, what do you need to think? Think on this way that, I can create a class inside one of the packages. Now, how do I access it? From where can I call it? How can I stop, or how can I limit the access also? How do I limit the access? Now see, I don't want my utility classes to be accessed by test scripts, right? So somewhere I have to provide a mechanism, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm trying to explain you this in the way that, you can understand where you are going to use this access modifiers. Now, this entire thing is limited only to packages only, okay? And inheriting calling one method or trying to access a method within same package, outside the package, within same class, outside the class. We already spoke about private. Can you access a private method in the same package in a different class? We just now saw it. Can you access?
For private, cannot, right?
Private cannot. Private cannot be accessed from anywhere except within the class itself. Yes?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
There's a table for it. Let me show you the access modifier table, which is very common and you should remember it. Okay, if you see this one, let me show you. It will be always there. There's a table for it. Yeah, here it is. See this? So this is how you define access modifiers limitations. Okay. Now, same class. Can you access within same class everything? Yes. Even private can be accessed within the same class, right?
Yeah.
Protected also. These are just keywords, guys. Okay, don't think that they have any a meaningful thing. If it is, see, you say it is a private property when you put somewhere. Why? Because it's your property and you don't want anybody else to access it, right? What if it is protected? Protected means your family members can access it. Yes. Example, for each one of you, your wallets or your purses or your handbags, right? Do you want all your family members to access them, or more will go? Do you want your phone to be accessed by your family members?
No.
Most of you? No one, right? So what is that? Private property?
Yeah,
Yes.
private.
Yes. But if
Yeah.
I talk about your handbags, can your sisters or brothers can access your purses, wallets, and your handbags?
No.
No? For Farhan, it's no, but anyone, say for example, if you tell them, okay, fine, I have 100 rupee, go and find it in my wallet, take it. But they can access this, right? If you allow
Yes.
them,
Yeah.
you allow them, right? If you give them the permission, then it is protected. But will you give a stranger the permission to to touch your wallet,
No. No.
No.
No.
right? So it's not a public property that anybody can come and touch it. Yes? Correct?
Correct. Correct.
Yes. Now there's default also. Default is when you do not specify what type of access modifier you want. Now with default, if you see in the same class, your phone is in the same class with you. Anything inside your phone can be accessed. So that is, even if it is a default, it is a private, it is protected, it's public, you can access it within the same class. Now within same package and subclass, this is with coming from interfaces. Now, this entirely depends on the concept whether your child, what he can access. When you have a subclass, it is nothing but a parent-child relationship. Okay. So what can it access? It can access your default, private, no, protected, yes, and public, yes. Okay. Now, same package, non-subclass. It is not a subclass, but it falls under the same package. It can access your default. It cannot access private, and can access your protected and public. So see the simple concept, same class, everything can be accessed, same package, except for private, everything can be accessed. But now you're talking about a different package. Different package, you see, default and private is not allowed, but protected and public is allowed for the subclass. But if it is a different package and a non-subclass, only public is allowed. You want me to show you with examples?
Yeah, yes, please.
Okay. See, you're talking about interfaces and you're talking about different types of okay, we already have it here, right? You have two things here. Yes. Okay, we have one package day one. We have another package Selenium test. Okay, I'll take these two packages. Now, let me create one file here. Okay, let me create 4 methods. I'll just keep it static so I don't have to, create an object every time. Okay, let me put it as method public. Just like that. Okay. And let me remove it. Okay. Till here, okay. Now see.
Yes. Yeah, so far so good.
Let's go to the first concept. What is it saying? What is your first one says? Same class, same class. Okay. So first is same class. Sorry. Same class, and then second is what? Same package but subclass, and third is what? Same package and non-subclass. So I will need 3 classes. Okay. One more. Let me create it. New class 3. Okay. Now first one it is same class 1. Let us rename this so it comes under the same thing. What did I miss? Okay. Okay. Now see, you have class 1, class 2, class 3. Class 1 is your simple class, same class where you have all the methods. Can you access them? Let me just see. I've created static. I need not to create an object of this class, so I will not do any instance creation. I will just call here method public. Can I call it directly? Yes. Same way, I can call all the methods and can execute them. Yes. Now it is telling you same class, same package. I'm not inheriting it. I'm not using the keyword extend. Let me just call it here. So what is the class name? Class 1. Anyways, I think we can call it method default. Okay, let's see. What is it saying? It'll ask you to import the file. See what all you can access? Default, protected and public. Yes. You're seeing it,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
The default, protected and public. So see, it says directly over here. What you can do? Same package subclass. No, sorry, not a non-subclass. Default, yes. Protected, yes. Public, yes. Now, within the same class, now let me inherit it. Okay. Extends class 1. Now, Here also, if you see, you can see all the three, but can you see private here?
No,
right?
no.
So see, same package subclass, same package non-subclass. Now, another one is different package subclass and different package non-subclass. Now, let me go to the Selenium test. Let me create two classes over here in a different package. Let's make it as class 4. Okay. Now see. Now, do you see default here? It
No.
allows what? Only protected in public? See, it will allow you only protected in public. You will not find a default over here. Yes?
Yeah.
Now, simple one. Now we're not doing anything. Let me just copy paste this particular line till here. Let's see. It's giving you error. Yes? Let me just
Yes.
it. It will allow you only access to your
Public.
public. So this is where your access modifiers are used. So if you see a private, you know that this particular method, nobody wants you to inherit, nobody wants you to implement it in your class. It's only something that they want you to utilize. Okay. So this is where your access modifiers comes into picture. Any questions so far?
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. So see the same table. Yes. Okay. Now coming down, let's see what is it. Encapsulation again. Okay, you see access modifiers and all, that's why they covered it up, private. And if you look at it, see here, employee public static void main, new employee set name, two classes, two different classes, and then they utilizing that encapsulation also. I'll provide you this PPT, guys, okay, if you need it. Advantages of
Yeah, that's helpful.
encapsulation, better control. Encapsulation provide ultimate control over the data members and data method inside the class. Getter and setter. The standard IDs provide inbuilt support for getter and setter method, which increase the programming pace. Now, you have heard about getter and setter methods? Anyone?
Heard about it, but never actually implemented.
So basically, if say, for example, you define something which you don't want to be accessed by others, right? So you create few methods, getter and setter methods, and they're nothing, you give them the name like that, get the value, set the value like that. And then you can actually write code into it, which can assign values to particular variables. And then you can also write a value, sorry, set method to write to assign values, get method to fetch the values, what are coming up. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, security, it prevents access to data members and data methods by an external classes, which improves the security of the encapsulated data. Changes made to one part of the code can be successfully implemented without affecting any other part of the code. Okay. Now, inheritance, we have already seen. See, we were talking about inheritance, right? What was I telling you? Inheritance. See, type of inheritance, single level, multi-level hierarchy. This is explaining type of inheritance, okay? It's not saying that you can implement it with Java, okay? Now see, single level, you just implement one of the things, extend student. Hierarchical, you can implement, say, lion extends mama, cub extends lion, and then test and test can also extend one of them. So basically, it's telling you that one class is inherited by subclass. This subclass is inherited by another subclass. Then it is inherited by another subclass. So this is hierarchical. So you can actually how do you say it? You can actually then implement all the methods for all the subclasses. Okay, you can utilize the, sorry, you can for all the superclasses. The last one can do it. Okay, So hierarchical, it is possible. I was talking about multiple, which is not possible. Okay. So see, hierarchical, it is possible. Now in inheritance, multiple inheritance is not supported in Java as it may cause ambiguities. In case both the parent classes have a method with the same name and the child class object class the same, there will be an ambiguity. Why it is not used? Sorry. Why it is not used? Say for example, both your parent classes have a method named as area, and I create an object of a child class and I call the method of area. How will it know which area method to call? Will it be able to identify during compile time?
No.
No. That's the reason multiple inheritance is not used in Java, because of this ambiguity. Okay, we already saw this. Okay, constructor. A constructor is a set of instructions designed to initialize an instance, and parameters can be passed to the constructor in the same way as for a method. Public, protected, and private are the valid access modifiers for constructors. Java compiler creates a default constructor if it doesn't find it at the time of object creation. Okay. Now, constructor rules. A constructor name must be same as that of the class. Now you can't create a different function and then you say this is a constructor. No, until it is not matching the class name, it is not a constructor. It should have no explicit return type. Okay, yeah, we did not talk about this, right? Return types. You are aware what a return type is?
Yeah.
Anyone else except for Raja?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So you see, whenever we gave this constructor over here, somewhere I gave it, right? I have not given any return types. Let me put a return type here. See? Yes, it's giving error. See? Why? Or let me say not void. Let me put an int. It's giving error. Why do you think it is giving error?
Because that particular method, the particular constructor doesn't return any value, but it stated the value.
But constructor should not return any value, it is saying, right? Why? Okay, when you say you know what return types are, you tell me. When I mention a return type, what happens?
Uh, in a method, when we mention a return type, that we need to return the type, the value with the same type that we mentioned on the method body.
Wait, let me put it from here. Let me change it to int. And see, it's giving error because it's asking you to give me this statement. Return some value, let's say 34. Okay, now what will happen if I call this method here?
It will return the value of 34.
Okay, and then?
And you can assign to a variable value. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense. Okay, now it is returning me a value, right? That means there is some memory space that is coming back, right? With a value inside it. Yes? You're getting it, right? So say, if I say here, I'm storing this value in this variable. For now, when I was not storing this value into this variable, what was happening? I'm getting something, but I am not storing it anywhere. So it will be lost. Yes? You lose the reference to it, right?
Yeah.
Anybody else got the concept? Or want me to explain it? I told you yesterday that if you go into a society and there are thousands of houses made and you do not have an address, will you able to find the name? Say for example, my house is there in one of it, and you go inside and you try to find out a house for which is associated to me, right? But there is no number to it. Will you be able to find it in 1,000 alone? You will give up, right?
Yeah, I cannot.
You'll give up. You'll give up. And say if that society had 10,000 of houses, nobody is going to step in to find one person. Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why? Because there's a huge number and you cannot cover it up, especially within a given time frame. If I look at Java program, and if I tell you to find a number in 10,000 things, and that too in sequential order, it will take a longer time, right? The code will go on. Yes, execution time will be more, correct?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're traversing one by one, right? First one, second one, third one, fourth one. And it is lying, say for example, it is lying as 99999. What will you do? It's going to take how much time, right? So many times the loop will run. So same way, if I do not store, if I do not give it this a reference, this value will be lost in the heap. Yes. I told you yesterday, your memory is like a heap. You can consider it like a garbage, okay? Like if I give you a pile of garbage, you have to find something. Will you be able to find it?
No.
No. But if, say, for example, you know the reference to it, you'll be able to definitely pull it out. Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah. Consider those kids games they come now where they have numbers written on it 1 2 3 4 5 6. Say for example you have set like this on which there are numbers written 1 2 3 4 5 6 until 10,000, and I provide you a reference. You just have to go and find it, and it is there in this particular location. It will be easy for you to find it.
Yeah.
Yes. Same way is there with the return types. So you will have different type of return types. You can have int, float, double. But when you are trying to call it, you try to store the value of it somewhere so that you don't lose it and you do not have memory leakage problem. Okay? Yes. And when you use void, void means you're not returning anything. This particular method is not returning you any value. It is performing an operation inside it and it is finishing over there. So this only has a scope until this body is closed. Entire thing which is there inside it, until that is not completed, it will execute it. Once it is completed, it is not giving you any value. So in return, you are not getting anything. You are just running it and it is not taking any memory space. One second. One second. अच्छा. Okay. So now moving on. A constructor cannot be static, it cannot be abstract, and final and synchronized. Why? So these are the questions that I'll give it to you. You think on this and can tell me tomorrow why a constructor cannot be static, abstract, final, and synchronized. Okay?
Sure.
Now see, you have types of constructor, default types of constructor, and parameterized. You have seen here, this when we were not giving any value, this is called as what? Default constructor. Yes? What is this called as? If you're not declaring any of the constructor, that constructor becomes your default constructor. There's a default constructor which is already there, which you don't have to create. Every class comes with a default constructor. Okay? And the parameterized one is one that you create yourself and you pass a parameter to it. That is called your parameterized constructor. Okay? Coming down, a constructor with no argument is called a default constructor. It enables you to create object instances with new class name. A user add constructor declaration to class overrides the default constructor. It provides defaults values like 0, null, etc. to the object. Its syntax is class name. That's it. You have examples over here. And then parameterized, we have already seen comparison. It is used to initialize an object state. It represents the behavior of an object. Method and constructor difference, okay? Cannot have a return type. A return type is mandatory. It is invoked implicitly. It is invoked explicitly. The compiler provides with default constructor if the constructor is not created. A method always needs to be created by a programmer. It must have the same name as that of a class. Method need not to have the same name as that of the class. Okay?
Okay.
Now,
Yeah.
coming to your keywords, static and final. Most important things. The reason is they create good interview questions. If they give you program, they can ask you what an output will be, what are the error message that you will get, will you be able to create this or not, will you be able to do it if it has a final and a static keyword and all those value. Okay. Static is used for memory management in Java, right? It belongs to the class instead of the instance. Static keyword can be applied to method, variable, block, and nested class. Main method is a static method because the JVM does not create an instance of a class when executing the main method. Static method should be accessed using the class name. Have you ever thought why the main method is called first? Hmm? Have you ever thought why does it have this static keyword? Why it is not returning you anything? And why is it public? Give me 2 minutes, guys. I'll be back. Yeah. Can someone tell me? Why is the main method void? Why is the return type void?
Because this method doesn't, it is an entry point to the particular program, and it doesn't return any type, because when the program ends, it just kills off, right? So it doesn't have any value to return.
Basically,
That makes sense.
like we spoke about a program, right? That you have to hold the value. When something is being written, you have to capture it somewhere, right? But main is your entry point and main is also your exit point. Where will you hold the value that is written by main method? Where will you hold it? If say, for example, you are calling a double will take memory space. Every time you create a method main with a return type as double, what will happen? That much of memory space will be lost and you don't know where that value is going, right?
Yeah.
Correct? That's the reason main does not return anything. It is always void. Okay. Now you can have static keyword can be applied to keyword, method, variables, block, and nested class. Main method is static method because the JVM does not create an instance of a class when executing the main method. Static method should be accessed using the class name instead of the object name. Okay. Example, you have class student, int roll number, string name, static string college, and all those things. I think we have already covered it up mostly with static. Final is a reserved keyword which stops the value change, method overriding, and inheritance in Java. It can be applied to method, variables, and classes. Final class, once declared, cannot be subclassed or inherited. Final method cannot be overridden after declaration. Final variable cannot be changed after being declared. So, if you have final keyword, right, whatever you're creating, whether it is a method, it is a variable, or a class, now you cannot have inheritance associated with any class that has final keyword in front of it. You cannot override any method which has a final keyword in front of it. Also, you cannot change the value of anything that has a final keyword in front of it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
This keyword you're aware? This
Yeah.
keyword is a reference variable that is used to refer to the current object. It can be used to refer to current class instance variable. It can also be used to invoke current class method and current class constructor. It can be passed as an argument in the calls of a method as well as constructor. It can also be used to return the current class instance from the method. Okay. Super keyword is a reference variable that is used to refer the immediate parent class object. It can be used to refer immediate parent class instance variable. It can also be used to invoke immediate parent class method and constructors. A keyword, super. Okay. Abstract class and methods, you already have seen them. Interfaces, you have seen them. Yeah, one more important topic is, guys, exception handling. What do you mean by exception handling? Anybody?
To catch the error.
What is it, Farhan?
To catch the error.
Okay, to catch the error. What else?
To keep
Like
going, okay.
handle error.
Hmm?
To keep the program going and not breaking.
That will call, okay. Yeah, okay, fine. Also, and anything else? What is an exception?
For us to identify type of error that occur and give us some clue in it, like what type of error we getting in, how easy to debug.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, so anything that is, you can call it as an, see, there are two different things, okay? Exception is different, error is different, okay? You need to understand, error is a mistake that is done. Exception is something that occurs when you're running a program. It occurs during runtime, yes? Correct?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Now, why do we call them exception? Because they are the rare cases that occur. Yes, when even in your normal in your common day to day you talk about something, you say that's an exceptional case. Yes,
Yeah.
you say it is an exceptional case. Why do you say it is an exceptional case? Because it is different. Yes. Example, let me give you. Normal in if you take a number, will you divide it by 0 as a human being?
No.
Will you divide it? No, right? Because from the time you started studying, your parents, your teachers have taught you division by 0 is not possible.
Yeah.
Correct? But in your coding, there can be a scenario. Say, for example, you're writing a piece of code and you're saying, divide this particular number n with this particular number m. And after first round of division, start reducing the number n by 2 every time. Now it went up to 3 and it went up to 2 and then it again reduced it by 2. So what value you got? 0. Yes? And while creating the program, you did not consider the fact that it will touch 0 also. It will touch negative also. Right? The moment it touched 0, it gave you an exception. Yes? It's not an error. It's an exception, guys. Because division with 0 is not possible. So now you have to write a piece of code to handle this situation. Yes?
Yes.
Correct? So either the value is 0 or negative. What you'll do? You will stop the execution. Correct?
Got it.
Code says same thing, right? You'll stop the execution. You will not go ahead with negative values. You will not go ahead. You only wanted it to go up to a minimum value. Say, for example, your minimum value was 1. Now, if you divide -2, it will go to -1. Right? You don't want that to happen. So what do? You stop execution. You say the moment it touches below 1, it should be stopped. Right? Exit. Correct? So this is an exception. Now, when you're storing values, say for example, in your normal day-to-day also, if you store something in a box, can you, say for example, the box is still here. Can you overflow it and then cover the lid of it? Can you do that? I'm not talking about any liquid. Huh? Liquid will flow down. Consider for something which is solid. You're trying to put something which is going up till here, and I tell you that, the level is only till here. Will you be able to close the lid?
No.
No, right?
Yeah, cannot.
You will not be able to do that. So what is that? In arrays, there is an example. The length of the array is 6. Will you be able to store 7th object into it?
Cannot.
No, you cannot. That is another exception. That will give you an array out of bound exception, right? The boundary is still 6. How are you entering a 7th value? Yes? Same way you have numeric exceptions, you have arithmetic exceptions and all those things. Yes? You'll go to Selenium, you will stale element exception and all those exceptions. Now, this exception you need to handle in your code, and that is called your exception handling. And how is it achieved? First of all, let's look at the hierarchy. See, you have object, then you have throwable, and inside throwable, you have an exception. Now, exception has what found? Class not found exception, clone not supported exception, illegal access exception, instantiation exception, interrupted exception, no such method exception, runtime exception. Now, you're calling a method. You think there is a method like that, but when you're trying to call it, there is no such method. So, what will it will give you? No such method exception? Yes?
Yes.
And it's not giving you any error when you're writing the code, okay? Assume you're not writing it on Eclipse or anywhere. You're just writing it on a notepad. You don't know whether, this method exists or not. You have only heard about it from someone that there was a method like this. You gave the name. And as you know, Java is a case sensitive. For example, assume you gave it on a small letters and it is written in all capital. It will not recognize it. It will give you an error method. Though that method is there, but the naming is different, right? Yes?
Yes.
Then you have arithmetic, you have array store exception, class cast exception, illegal argument, illegal monitor, index out of bound exception, negative array size exception, null pointer exception, security, illegal number of format, and many more. So you can find many things, okay? Now, there are 3 types of exception according to Oracle: checked, unchecked, and error. Checked. Classes that inherit the throwable class except runtime exception and error are called your checked exception. IU exception. Whatever you saw in this one, these are all your checked exceptions. Okay. Now, unchecked class that inherit runtime exception are called unchecked. For example, array index out of bound exception. Error. These are irrecoverable. Some examples are out of memory error, virtual machine error, assertion error. Okay, they can occur. You have to somehow handle it, or delete the caches or whatever is being given as an reference if you search it on Google. Okay. Now, the major keywords that you use in exception handling: try, catch, throw, throws, and finally. You have heard of try, catch, block?
Yeah.
Yes. All of you? Adiba, Noor?
No.
Yep.
Okay, few of you have. Okay, so let's go inside one of the classes. Yeah, yeah. Now what you do is, for example, I try to write a method, or I try to write a, yeah, I'll try to write a method only. Now I know that there is going to be an exception, okay? Every time I take a number, int num is equal to 9. What is happening? Invalid assignment. Why is it giving me invalid assignment? Anything that I'm doing wrong? Anyone can tell me why it is giving me an invalid assignment?
I think it needs need to assign it to a variable, right? Because of
Okay.
that.
Worked. Thank you. What is the parent class for all the exceptions? Exception, right? Yes? All the exception will fall under exception class? Guys?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, it is. I showed you the hierarchy just now, right?
Okay.
You have object, then throwable, and in throwable you have exception. And in exception, you'll find all the other classes. Now, if there is an exception, okay? It's not giving anything. Ah, what is happening? Ah,
I think you can just execute the method name in the parentheses itself, right?
oh man. Something is wrong. What is that we are not doing correct? Okay. Public method name. So from here, the moment it starts, just call this one 9. Let me remove this, not needed. Int result 9 divided by equal to 10. Num is less than 0. Num minus minus. We're not doing correct. Can someone tell me what is going on wrong here? Something logical error. Not even calling this, huh? Should not have this wrong, but
I think beside the catch, you have double curly braces beside the catch keyword. Is it?
Yeah. No, this is for and this is for try. No, it's not wrong. It would have given an error if it was wrong. Something else. Public class 3, public static void main class 3 is equal to new class 3. C dot method name. So this is being called, right? Okay. It's coming, but it's not. Wow. Yeah. See. Arithmetic exception, right? The
Yeah.
logic was wrong, guys. Huh? Here I kept was less than 0. So obviously, 10 was not less than 0. It will never go inside the loop, right? That's the reason it was not giving, and that's the reason it was not even throwing any exception. Now see. Now we kept it -1. So that's the reason it goes to 0. The moment it divides the number with 0, it gives you what exception? Occurred arithmetic exception, division by 0. Yes? So this is one that we created intentionally, but what if we are not creating it intentionally? So what will happen? You have to keep it under either try catch block, and if you're not keeping under try catch block, let me remove this try catch from here. Let us keep it some other method, and let us try to remove the try catch block. Okay, method 1. Let me put a name, method 1. Now let me remove this try catch block. Okay. Now see, over here it is not giving you any issue because it does not find anything wrong with the code. But there are other ways also to handle exception. What is it saying? Either use throw or use throws. Yes. So you can use both these things to handle exception. Now, one is implemented at 1 second. Okay. So this throw and throws keyword, one is put over here on the okay. So you declare an exception here only. If you know that exception can occur, you can declare it. Otherwise, when you write a piece of code and if it finds that there can be an exception, it will automatically give you an error saying that there can be exception over here. Please add throw or throws or put that particular piece of code into it, try or catch. And finally, oh sorry, try catch finally. Now finally is another block which comes with try catch. Okay. And with this block, what you do is, with this block, what you can do? You write a piece of code you want to execute irrespective of exception being occurred. Okay, so whatever you write inside finally, even if an exception is occurred, that piece of code will definitely run. Okay, now there's one very common question that they ask you: what is the difference between finally, final and finalize? You know, when we spoke about final keyword, where is final keyword used? It is used to apply restrictions. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but finally is used with your exception handling, and finalized is used with your garbage collector. Now you'll ask me what a garbage collector is. I was talking about, right? Say for example, you give a return type, you do not save that value into any variable. Now that value is lying on your memory space, but you do not have a reference to it, right? Correct? So that memory space is being utilized, but it is not being used in a way where you can actually find it. So what you will do, there is a process known as garbage collector or GC in Java, which is automatically also executed every time through Java virtual machine, where it goes and removes the elements, or the variables which are no longer used. Okay, so finalize is one of the methods that is there with garbage collector. See here, used to perform cleanup processing just before object is garbage collected. Finalize is a method, finally is a block, and final is a keyword. Okay. Hello, everybody there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, let's do one thing. Let's take a break and then we'll move to arrays. And then after that, I will show you a little bit on automation so that you guys can understand what we talk about tomorrow. Okay.
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 And once you come back, I think I,
11.
I have some. Maven, yes, you have Maven also. We'll talk about it tomorrow, guys. It's not much in Maven.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm not sure, will you be able to write it in the given time frame? What try to write this. Okay. Okay. Take your break, guys. I'll also be back in next 20 minutes. Okay. And then we'll continue.
Right. Thanks. Savita sis,
Mm.
is it possible you can share the notes for us?
You want to
The
see
the slide, yeah, the slide.
the slide? Let's see.
If it's possible.
I don't have any issues, man. Wait a second. If I can drag and drop it here.
Thanks, sis.
Yep. Where are you from, Raja?
I'm from KL.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
And you're from?
I am from India, man.
Oh, okay. Which part of India?
I am from basically I belong to North India, but currently I'm staying in South.
Right. Which part in Saudi right now?
I
Yeah,
am in
yes.
Karnataka,
Oh, right. The
Bangalore.
Silicon City,
Yeah, Bangalore.
Bangalore. Okay. I'm from KL actually.
Okay.
KL. Yeah, but staying way beyond the outskirts of the KL. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I've shared it on the group. Everybody, if you can download it and see. Otherwise, I'll put it on a drive and I'll give you access and then you can check it from there. Just see if you guys can download it.
Yeah, we can download
Yeah,
it.
got it. Yeah. Thanks,
Yeah.
Savita.
Yeah. So it has everything. And if you want the code also, you can check it. Also, for your own coding practice, those who know a little bit of Java and those who do not know also, I'll give you two links, okay? One is for your, I know this will be a little advanced level, but I'm not hacker. Sorry. Hacker. Yeah. So whenever you guys have time, right, on your own time, when you have it, try this one. Okay, very good website, or you can say a place where you can actually practice Java programs. Very simple programs are also there. You start with them and start practicing it. Okay, it will test your all the logic and knowledge of Java. And for your Selenium, this guy provides you a website. He has created his own. You can utilize this, you can use this particular website for practicing Selenium. To learn Selenium, because I will not be able to teach you entire Selenium in this given time frame, I think the easiest way to learn it is through this tutorial. Okay. So those who are still learning it can go to this tutorial. It is small explanations of everything that you can do with Selenium. Okay, don't go directly to the docs part of the Selenium, which is your original doc, which I told you yesterday, selenium.dev, because it will be a slight confusing. But if you want a very simple explanation, these are the sites that you can go to. Okay, and this rahulshettyacademy.com is something where you can practice everything. Okay, because generally you will not find sites, and sites like the one which we use, Amazon and all, they are very much complicated when you start with. So start doing this, and I think it will help you out. Okay.
Sure, thank you, Savitasis.
Yeah. Okay, guys, we'll connect in 20 minutes. Huh? Hey, are we back? Hello.
Yeah.
Let me know when you can see my screen.
Yeah. Your screen is clear.
Okay. Okay. So now we'll talk about two more important topics. One is arrays, another one is strings. Okay. Now arrays. Now array is a data structure that store elements of similar data types. Okay. Java arrays are index based. That is, the first element is stored as the 0th index. See, you're seeing this structure on the left side. See, you have all the data that you store. First of all, it should be of same type. It should be int, string, or whatever type you're declaring, whatever data type you're using. Similar sort of data types can be stored in arrays. Second thing, everything will be stored sequentially. So the first element will go in 0th position, second will go into first position, third element will go here in second position, fourth element will go into third position, and so on until the nth element goes into n minus 1 position. The index of array always starts from 0. So if you say the array length is 7, the last index of array is going to be 6th. You getting it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's how the elements are stored in arrays. Now, the syntax for declaring arrays, you have to use the data type, and then you have square brackets. Square brackets always represents arrays, and then the name that you want to give to your array, and a semicolon. Okay. Data type, again, you can give a space here, and this square bracket can come before the name, or you can give data type, the name, and then the bracket over here. So these are the three different ways that you can declare an array. See, this is declaration. You have still not initialized it. So now this is your declaration of an array. Syntax for initializing a one-dimensional array. Array name is equal to new data type size. Okay. Now see here example. Int array new int 5. So if you go for an array example, let's go here. Let's go with here. Let's do it. I don't think we need any class file, but let's keep it here only, okay? So int, I'll give a name, array is equal to new int, new array, new int, and then in bracket, the size, whatever I want, okay? So say I'm giving a size 4. Now this is declaration. Still, I have not given any initialization. So until the declaration happens, till here, there would be no memory space allocated on the heap. Now, once you give it like this, it is giving how many spaces? How many spaces is it allocating it? It's a very
4
hard.
spaces.
4 spaces, right? So it is allocating it the 4 spaces. So now the 4 spaces has been given to it. Now once you initialize it, so as I told, the index will start with what? 0. So a of 0 will store some value. I'm giving integer, so I give it like this. Sorry, wait, the name is arra. Yeah. Then you will have, and it will be n minus 1 always. Okay. Once 1 less than the length of the array. So this will be, how many we have given? 4. 4 is the length. So this will be 2 and this will be 1. I'm storing the same values. If you want, you can change it, whatever you wanted. Say, for example, let me make it 24, 32, 278. Yes? Now, this is how you are going to store or initialize a value into the array. Now, reading from an array, you have to give a loop. Now, this loop will work like for, what is the starting index for every array?
0.
0.
0.
I less than, what is the length of the
4.
array? Now see, I've given the length over here 4, so you know it will be less than 4. But what if I would have not given the length? There's a
Array
length.
dot length.
Yes, array dot
Length.
yes, less than array dot length. Let me put it. Okay, and then you have I plus plus.
Plus.
Okay, and inside this one, you are going to say sys out. Okay, let me save it and let us run it. You saw it's printed.
Yep.
Yes. So this is very basic of arrays, okay? Now let's go down. Deleting an element from an array. You have example of deleting an element, then a multi-dimension. Okay, you do one thing. Why don't you try deleting an element of an array? We have not done any assignment also. Try deleting an element. You want me to mention it in chat?
Savita, is it deleting the array or deleting the items in the array?
Any one element from the array.
Anyone?
All
Okay.
you can do is based on index. So if I tell you, if I give you an index, say for example, your size is 7, and I give you an index of 5, the sixth element the sixth element should be deleted. Or if I tell you the fifth element should be deleted, whatever you think.
Okay.
Farhan, you have an experience with Java? Farhan, you there?
Hello?
You have an experience with Java and Selenium?
Experience a little bit, not too much.
How much?
Little bit.
Little bit.
Yeah, less than a year.
10? 10 years?
No.
I thought 10 years and you're saying it little bit.
No.
So 10 months, huh?
Mm, I'm familiar, but not proficient.
Okay. I see new people over here. I think Idris and who else? Farhana.
Yeah.
Guys, you there?
One more minute. Yeah.
No, I'm talking to Idris and Farhana actually. Those guys are not responding. So I was thinking, if I come to know that how much years of experience do they have?
Is it me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have an experience with Java and Selenium?
No. I just know Java basic. Basic Java.
Okay. Noor picking anything or it's too fast?
Talking to me?
Yes.
Quite fast, but I'm catching up.
Yeah, I understand, man. It's actually pretty fast. Even if I was in your place, it would have been like, okay, too much to absorb
Yeah.
in 4 months.
But it's okay. I try to catch up by myself.
Actually, core Java itself, it's a vast subject, right? And then you need a lot of practice if you're doing all these things. That's why I gave you that hacker rank. Try to practice questions on it, basic questions.
All right, I'll test on that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You have to sign up for it, and it's free of cost, no charges. So you can go for all the basic codings examples.
All right, sure.
Yeah. Yes. Anybody talking? Are we done with the program? Guys, let's move on to a different topic so that we can practice more, okay? And then we'll move to Eclipse, how to create a Maven program and everything, okay? I don't have a PPT for Maven, so I'll take up some tutorial or, to let you know about it. Shall we go ahead?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
See, the another topic that we need to understand is strings. Now, strings I showed you in API in the documentation part of Java. A string is nothing but a class. Okay. Now, what does this class represent? Every character that you have, if you have a sequence of character, then you call it as string. Yes. For example, your name. If I put it as a character, how will it come up? It'll come up something like this, right? Say, let us take somebody's name. Okay. If I put it as a character, I'll keep it as H A M Z A. If I make any spelling mistake, just avoid it for now. We are talking about characters. Now see, when you talk about char as a data type, what is it? H A single, right? Now what if I have to write this entire statement? How many times do I need to write characters? I have to write each and every character like this as an array. Yes. And then print it. So what did they do? They provided you a class known as a string class. Okay. In that class, you represent a sequence of character values called string. So if you see here, this character simply Java, what you can do, you can either type it as ch, or you can write it as like this, or you can just simply write it as a string as is equal to double quotes simply Java. Anything that you declare as a string, your value of a string should go within double quotes. Even if you give a number within double quote, it will be considered as a string. Let me show you. So let's see here. So this for int n is equal to 3, it's a number. But if you give a string n1 equal to in double quotes 3, it becomes a string. Okay. Now you cannot perform on this n1 operations like int sum is equal to n1 into 3. It's going to give you an error. See, now only it's giving an error. What is it saying? The operator is undefined. Oh, okay. Let me put it like this. See, change n1 to static. Okay, fine. Let us change that also. What is it saying? Change this also to static. Okay, let us change this to static. Now what error it is giving? The operator is still undefined. Wow. Now also it is giving the same error. Let's put a plus. Yeah, this is because I think probably this was change type of sum to string. See, you cannot perform operations on this 3 because it is a string. You cannot, can you multiply this with 3? Can you multiply A with 3?
No.
No. Same way, when you give in double quotes, this 3 becomes you can consider it as a letter now. It is not a number anymore for you. But if the same thing you do here as n, yes, it'll work. It should work because sum will be right what. Try catch blockman. Okay. Still error. Done now. What does it want more? Plus 3. I have no idea why these arithmetic operators are giving error. See? Okay, static. Fine. Now it is not giving. Okay. Now see. So when you're doing it with a number, you can perform it. But now see, there is one more thing. This plus is called two operators in Java. One is you're doing a proper addition. Another one is concatenation. Have you heard of the term? Concatenation in Java?
Yeah.
Most
Yes.
of you would have heard it. Okay. So what is concatenation in Java is when you're trying to associate or when you're trying to associate two strings, okay? How is it? Say, for example, over here you have done it. Now you want to print. Okay. Let me put this number here as 345. Okay. Now you just type N1, concatenate, and I'll put some string, say my name. Now it will not give you an error. What it will give you as an output is 345 Savita. That means it is combining these two strings. Okay. For example, you have your two strings. Let me take like this. String first name is equal to Desi Java. String last name is equal to, let's say, classes. Okay. Now, if you want to print it, let me just remove this one from here. Now, if you want to print it, how you can print it is sys out. If you want to concatenate it, you can concatenate it and you can create a new string out of it. Just pass here first name plus, which is a concatenation operator. You want to give a space, you can give a space, and then again concatenation operator, and then you can give your last name. What is it? Last name, right? Last name. What is happening? Static. You have to make them static. Sorry. Because you're not creating any object, right? Okay. Okay. Also, you can create another string like we do for sum, right? Same way you can create a static full name. Okay. Let me put it like this. See, whenever you are creating an object of full name, try to give it some value, even if it is null or something. But say, for example, if you give full name over here, you can actually create the same thing here. Full name equal to, let me just put this one. Okay. And then you can get this out printed. Now, see guys, there's a difference between this full name and this full name, okay? This is just a string, okay? But this is actually a variable. Now let me just run it. Yes, see, full name is what? Java classes. Here also it is Java classes. Now, where is this used? Generally, when you write anything into system.out.println, it is displayed only on your console. Where is this used? For example, if you're going to do testing in future and you want to print something, okay? You want to print something in your logs or in your test results. And if you're saying that I enter my test data as, say, some email, and you want to represent that on the results, okay, or on the reports, then you put such type of things that, result is, and then the variable that you want to print out, so that it can come up in your, it can come up on your report. One example is that. Second is, if you have two values that you want to concatenate and use it further, then you can use this concatenation operator in Java. Okay, but it works on what? It works on only string data type. Okay, string class. Are we good?
Yes.
Yes.
String object in Java is created using java.lang.string class. It is immutable. What do you mean by immutable? It cannot be modified. They'll always ask you, there are three things in strings, okay? There are three types of classes. One is a string, another one is a string builder, third one is a string buffer. If you have interview questions, you will have around these three topics, okay? So what is the difference between these three? First is a string is immutable while these two are immutable. That means anything that you define as a string that cannot be modified later, but you can definitely modify the string builder and string buffer objects. Okay. Java string is equivalent to an array of character values. The char sequence interface is used to represent sequence of characters. A string class along with a string buffer and string builder class is implemented. Okay. Now let's go down. There are two ways to create a string, by string literal or by new keyword. Okay, the first one that we have already seen is a string name is equal to string value. I showed you right here. See here, string name is equal to value. This is what string literal. But if you want to, because a string is a class, right? You can also create a string element like this. I think it should be able to create it. And some value. Okay, yes. So this is where you can actually use it also. I was telling you, right? When I was talking about automation, I was also telling you, wait, that, where is it? Where is that website? Ting, 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 ting. Not here. I was telling you I'll inspect this element, correct? If I have to validate the values. Yes? You can
Yes.
see the page, right? You see this value is having what, a comma beside, a comma inside it, right? Do you think when I pick this value, it will come as a string or it will come as a number?
String.
String. Then can I directly pick up this value and can give it the compare it with 10,000 in numbers?
No.
No, right? You
Need
can't
to
compare
convert
it.
first.
Yes. First, you need to split it. You need to split it with comma, or you need to remove this comma and replace it, or just remove it. And then after that, you need to explicit do typecasting to it and convert. Sorry, not typecasting. You have to do parsing of it and then convert it to a string. Now you'll ask me, how do you convert a string to integer, right? You have,
Parse IIT.
yes, convert a string to integer in Java. You will find Java convert a string to int and then see integer.parseInt. Okay. So you need to learn this type of concepts where you can convert it into a string. Oh, sorry, you can convert it into a numeric value and then compare the values. Okay. Basically, anyone who is doing automation will do such type of things mostly. Okay. Our life mostly revolves around fetching a value, validating that value is matching something or not. Because where are we? We are testers, right? Yes. If you're going for the testing thing, I'm not sure what profile you guys are going for. But if you're going for testing, yes. Most of our life that revolves around this comparison part or the validation part or your loops, sorry, or your conditions, right? Now see, string comparison, for string comparison, you have a method called as equals. S1 dot equals S2. Now there are two ways to compare strings. One is S1 dot equals. So this is true if they both are equal. True, and this is S1 dot equals S4. So S4 is what? Rishi, capital, and S2 is what? Small. Do you think these values will be same?
No.
No.
Why?
Because
Because
Java
it's
is
case sensitive.
sensitive.
Hmm? What is it? Because
Because it's case sensitive.
it is case sensitive also. Are you aware of the ASCII values of every character?
Yeah.
Have you heard of it? How many of you heard? So there's a concept of ASCII values of a character, okay? Let me show it to you. See, if you see here, you'll find, ting, ting, ting. For capital, what is the value? 65, right? I think it's capital only. Let's see. Wait a second. What is it? Decimal value and hex value, sorry. I think that will be the same thing. So there would be difference, okay, for capital and small. See here, for small it is 97, the the decimal value and hex value is 61. But if you go up and see for the capital value, so this is 65 and 41. And this comparison takes place in the same way, okay? So what you need to do is you have to first convert it into lowercase or uppercase and make them equal. If you are comparing just because, you know that it can come in the capital letters, it can come in small letters, but all you wanted to check is the value. So there is another method in string which is known as equals ignore case. Okay. So let me show you here for string. What is it? Full name, right? Just do a dot. You see, when you do a dot, you see these auto suggestions that come up for the methods. See, contains, content equals, ends with, equals, is blank, is empty, matches, right? You have multiple methods that string class provides you. Now you need to understand them because you will be utilizing most of them. See, you have two uppercase, you can convert a string to uppercase, you can convert it to a lowercase. Then if you go down, you will have, let me put an equal here. See, equals and equals ignore case. There are two methods. Now you're validating the value that they are same or not, but you don't want any changes with the cases. You want to see whether, capital and small are coming separate. Then you use equals because then it will fail. But if you want to ignore case and just want to validate the value itself, irrespective of which case it is coming in, then you use equals ignore case. Then what it will do, it will convert it into similar sort of cases and then it will compare it. Okay. If you want to check this string is blank or empty, then you have these methods. If you want to go for, want to find out the substring, right? Let me check it here. If you want to find out the substring, you can have substring also. You can have with, if it is starting with what. So all these methods are already provided in your string class. You need to write codes, you need to write programs where you can utilize this method and understand them. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Now see, there's another operator known as comparison. So comparison, you can do S1 equal to S2 because both refer to same instance and because S3 refers to a different instance created in, okay. Now see, here you were comparing the values, okay. You're seeing two operators, right? One is equals, that is a method, and another one is your operator. So there will be a difference, right? Why would they have two otherwise? So first is here you are comparing the value. Over here, you are comparing the reference. I showed you other day. I told you, right? The diagram that I created and showed yesterday. You have a reference when you create it. Some memory is allocated. Yes. See, even if you create a string S1 is equal to Rishi, Rishi will be created only once. This S1 will also point to Rishi. This S2 will also point to Rishi. It is not that, S1 is holding Rishi and then S2 is holding Rishi. No, these two are just reference variable which will be pointing to this word Rishi. But when you write S string S3 is equal to new string, this will create a new instance of Rishi. So this is going to point to some other Rishi. It is not going to point to the same value Rishi. Okay? Getting it?
Yeah.
Okay. So what will happen if you compare them? This will give you a true. Why? Because they are pointing to the same reference, right? But this is creating a new reference. And when you compare S1 with S3 or S2 with S3, it will give you a false. See, because both refer to same instance, because S3 refers to an instance created in non-pool. Okay. Now compare to, there's another thing known as compare to. S1 compared to S2, 0. S1 compared to S3. It's because S1 is less than S3 and then, okay, there's one more. This will give you an output of always 0, 1 and -1. And it is compared like if the values are same, it is 0. If the value is greater, it is 1. And if it is the value is less, then it is -1. And how do you know the value is less? Because what you're doing is you are comparing it with the ASCII values. Okay. So if you see S1 and S3, see this R is same. Yes. Now A is also same. So you go to V and T. Okay. Let's go to that ASCII table, and these are all in small, right? So V and T for the small ones. What is the value of V? 118. What is the value of T? 116. So what will happen now? S1, that is 118, greater than S3, 116, true. So what will happen? 1. But now if you see for here, compare to S3 compared to S1. S3 compared to S1. Yeah, they are reversing it now. So first will be T, and then will take V. So now T is 116, V is 118. Is T less than 118, 116 less than 118? That is -1. So that will be printed. That's how your comparative operator works. It compares it with the ASCII values. Okay? Clear?
Okay.
You have doubts here?
So far so good.
Okay. Fine. I spoke about concatenation already, string concatenation and concat method. Okay, there's one that plus you're using as a concatenation operator. Another one, if you want to perform a concatenation, you can use the concat method, that is s1.concat s2. So whatever we have seen here, this full name is equal to first name. You can also do it like there's also one more thing. If you want to do it, you can put it like this. Okay. You need not to have a variable always. You can always do it like this also. You can just give the values over here, but then this will be like, they'll not be stored anywhere. Okay. What is it here? Okay. What else do we have? Substring. I was telling you, right? There's a method known as substring. So you can find the substring of a method. If you just type, say, for example, full name dot substring. Now substring has something like, you have only one single. So if I want to find out, so it will become how much? Savita Pradhan. How much it will be? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13, this thing, right? Length of this particular string will be what? 13? Yes. So if I want to find out from 5, okay? And if you just write it inside system.out.println, you can actually print it. See, where did it start from? S1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It left the fifth one and came from here. A. Yes. Now, if I want to make this one, same thing, but I also want to give the end index. So 5, comma, let's keep it 10 for now. If you give anything which is outside the length, it will give you what? What should it give you?
Between 5 and 10.
What is it giving? Exception? Why is it giving me exception, guys? Because the length of the string is?
Because it's over the length of the string.
Yes. The length of the string is 13 and I'm passing something which is 20 and it is not having anything which is 20. So how is it now? So it will give you what? String out of bound exception. Now you have to keep it within the length And if you give 6 here, it should print you. See, just one variable between 5 and 6. Yes? Good so far?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, some important string class methods. 2 uppercase, 2 lowercase, trim. What does trim do? Anybody has an idea? What does trim do? Trim will remove the white spaces, but not from the entire string, only from the start and the end. Okay? See, if I give over here something like this. Okay, let me give a space here also. Okay. Now, let us first print the full name. What is coming what is it coming now? It is having spaces. Yes. Let's also print the full name as well as the length of the full name. Okay. Let me put it here. What is it coming now? 25. Yes. Correct. Now let's do something. And let me reprint the same statement. What is it now here? 25. But after trimming, what happened? It became
17.
17. Why? It removed the front space. It removed this backspace, but it will not trim any space which is in center of your string. Okay. Only when you have a space in the front and the back, then it will remove those spaces. So what does trim do? Trim removes the extra space which is at the start and the end. Okay. See, when you calculate it, whenever you calculate something, see, I'll show you here. If you go here, let me just remove this from here. See, I'm pressing count the number of presses that I do for the space. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And let me remove from here also. 1, 2, 3. So 5 plus 3, how much? 8. Yes. Let me remove
Yes.
this from here.
Yeah.
Okay. 8. And the length of the string is what? This was total 13. Yes. 8 and 13. It should come as 21.
Yes.
Yes. But if you see now, once those spaces are removed after trimming it, the length is again coming to 13. See here. Now it's coming as entire string length is 13. I've
13.
removed the spaces, yes. Now the trim has removed all these spaces and the length is back to 13. This is what trim does in string. Now where it is used? Now for example, you're picking up some value from your page. Now that value is having spaces at the start and the end. Okay. So you can actually remove these spaces and then capture the length of that particular string. Okay. Okay. Starts with, ends with, caret, length, value of, replace, and intent. I would like you guys to try it. You have the PPT. You can go through it and try all these things. Okay. Now it has given you all the methods. String buffer. String buffer class helps in creating mutable, modifiable string object at any point in time. It contains a particular sequence of character, but the length and the content of the sequence can be changed through certain method calls. So you can actually append, insert, or reverse any values in your string. Okay. Now, string buffer, you have an example. String builder. The only difference between string buffer and string builder is non-synchronized. Sorry, string buffer is not synchronized, while string builder is No, sorry. String builder is non-synchronized. Okay. And it is also modifiable. But your string is not modifiable. Okay. So there is a difference. This was very common question in the very starting days of Java, where if you are a fresher, they might ask you this. But I don't know how the process is in your country. But in India, if you're a fresher, they might ask you questions like, tell us the difference between final, finally, and what was the other word? Final, finally, and finalize. Tell the difference between string buffer and string builder. What is the difference between equals and comparative equals methods, and the comparison operator, that is double equal to. All these things were asked. Now, inner classes, I don't think we'll cover this up because these are something beyond. Collections also, we are not going to cover it up. Okay, this is something that I wanted to cover because you can use it in automation. File handling. What do you mean by file handling? What do you mean by file handling? Have you heard of the examples where you have to read data from an Excel, or you have to store some value into an Excel sheet? Not only Excel sheet, you have got your notepads, or you have got your Word document, or any other format, right? Have you heard of such examples?
Yeah.
Yes. So when you're reading from some file, right, that is reading from a file and writing to a file, that is called your file handling. Okay. Now here you can have operations such as you can get an information from a file, you can write to a file, you can read from a file, you can delete a file, and you can also create a file. So generally in automation, what we do is I told you, right? When you do automation, you're basically doing testing only. So when you do testing, even if those who have done manual testing, when you perform any test case, you need to have screenshots. Yes. If somebody wants to check whether you have done it correct or not, how do you prove it?
Yes, provide screenshot.
Yes, you have to send these screenshots. Now that screenshot becomes what? One of your artifacts. Correct?
Yes.
And you have to save it somewhere. So where will you save it? Most of us, what we do, we create a folder. And if testing is your everyday business, what you do? First, you create a folder with today's date. And then you go inside it and create a folder with the test case number. Yes? Right?
Yes.
And
Right.
then you put the screenshots over there so that your work becomes easy. You don't have to go and find it everywhere. Okay. Now, this way of creating a folder, putting a value into creating another folder, and then placing your screenshot into it. Or initially, I started my work in 2010. So at that time, they used to ask us to create all your test case reports or your defect reports in the form of Word document. Okay. I don't know if you have done that or not, but what they used to do, whatever the test steps are, right? Say, for example, there are 5 steps. Launch the browser, go to this particular tab, look for this particular value, validate if it is working or not. So for these 5 steps, you have to give them 5 screenshots. Okay. So first is you launch the page. Yes, it is working fine. You're on the home page. Second screenshot that you have to give them, that you enter that value. For example, in Amazon itself, we were performing search. So you have to enter that Amazon search value. Yes, you are able to enter the value. Then you click on search. It is giving you result. Yes, you are getting the result. Now, say if I'm looking for a particular value of 549, I go to that particular object and I take another screenshot and I highlight it. Yes, I'm getting this value. Okay. So that's a past scenario. Now that type of files were called your reports. In automation also, you create reports. Okay. But can you give the same name to each and every file? Even if you save a normal file on your desktop, can you give the same name to each of the file with the same extension?
No.
No. Why? It will be overwritten. Yes. See, you're seeing my PPT, right? If I save this PPT, with some changes and I save it in the same folder, will this have my old changes or will this have my new version? What will happen?
New version.
New version. But I now want to check what my old version was. How will I check it? I've already overwritten it, right?
Mhm.
Yes. But what
Yeah.
if I save this file with the name as first is already saved like this, and I create second version of it. After here, I write
Mm-hmm.
second version. Will I have the old copy and the new copy both for comparison?
Yes, we can compare.
Yes. Same way in reports also. When you create any report, you have to create it in a way that your older one is not replaced by your newer one. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Or if
Yes.
you're keeping the same name also, what if I save this file with the same name, but I place it in a different folder? What if I go to documents? I create a folder here. Now I go back over here in documents and let's see, I place it here. Yes. Now this file has saved where? It has gone to my documents inside test. Now I'm having the same file name. You can keep the same file name, but you have to create a different folder. Now, if I want to again place it, I can create another folder with test1 and can place it with the same name. Yes. There are multiple ways, right? What if you just create for today and the same test cases again you have to repeat? So you just change the folder name, right? With the today's date. Yes. You can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you do automation, every report that is generated will have a date and a timestamp to it. Why? Because the moment, if I run the same test cases tomorrow, the date will change. So it is not overriding anything. Yes, it is keeping my older ones also. It is keeping my newer ones also. And if I execute the same test suite 3 times today, that will also not override anything. Why? Because it is having my timestamp. So what I ran in morning 11, if I run the same at night 11, it will change the timestamp and it will save it. Yes.
Yeah.
Correct? Yes.
Got it.
Yeah. So see, that's why creating a file also requires a lot of precision when you do it, because it should not override your existing documents. Only until there's a case that you don't want to keep it and you can override it, it's fine. Keep the same file name, keep on running your test case. Every time it overrides it, whatever you want, you get it printed. So this has to be done through Java code. Now in Java, you have a package java.io.file, which you can import. And this package will have all the methods that are required for your file handling. So now see, you have, where is it? Here, create file, right? Now try file. There's a class called as file. File F1 is equal to new file. And you give a path where you want that file to be. So D drive is your path, the name of the file and the format of the file. You want to create a .txt, you give it here. If I want to create XLS, I'll give it sample.xls. If I want to create it with PDF, I'll give it sample.pdf, right? And then you write method f1.create new file. But before that, when you're creating it, it does not give you an exception. You also have to check whether that file is already existing. If yes, then delete the older file and create a new one. If not, then you can have some random number associated with it so that every time a new file is created. Okay. See, what is it telling? File f1.getName is created successfully, else system.out.println file already exists in directory. Yes. Okay, coming down here, methods like absolute path is readable, etc. Get file information. Now, file F1 is equal to new file. You're creating a new file. If the file does exist, then the name of the file is this one. And then the absolute path of the file is, you can get the path where it is. Then system is right. You can write it. Do you have the access, or somebody has provided you that access of reading the file? You are aware of the concept of share folders?
No.
No? Okay. So basically,
I mean, in Java context.
Java context. No, this is basically if you're reading file, right? It is with your desktop only, operating system. Everything in file is related to, how you save your files. What type of access do you have? So for example, I'll tell you something with this Mac system. Mac system, you create a folder, even for your sharing your screen on Zoom, right? First, you have to provide access to it to, share it. Otherwise, it does not directly share. It will not allow you to share for the first time. Even if you want to write something, you have to go to that particular folder. Let me show you. For example, if I create something and you see here, right, get info. Can you see the pop-up? The get info pop-up? See the test info? Hello.
Yes.
Yes. Now see, what is it telling me? I have both read and write. Okay. Let me just click here. Okay. Let me make it read only. Okay. And then see, let me create something inside it. It's logged. Yes. What is it telling me? It's asking me to give a password for this now. Correct? Why? Because I changed my access for this folder to read only. Only when the admin enters the password, then you'll be able to do it, create your new folder into it. You might have seen in, if you've worked with any organization, you might have seen that, generally it does not allow you to create any folders or save any document in your C drives. Okay. Most of the time it is C drive. Why? Because that will make changes to your existing, it can make changes to your existing installation. Even if you try to install something, it might not allow you to install. So you have to reach out to the admin and ask them to make those required changes. That's the reason why there are help desk set up for the organizations, right? You're aware of this thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you have an help desk at every organization where you go, you tell them that, I'm unable to install this. They might have restricted your access for installation. Why? Because most of the time people install something and that brings viruses also with them, right? Yes.
Okay. Yes.
So what if you download something? And if you're working with any banking client or you're working with healthcare client, right? They are very careful with these things. Why? Because in banking systems, even a small glitch can cost them a lot, right? I'll give you an
Yes,
example.
yes.
I'll give you an example. There's a project for Bank of America, which is with one of the organizations. I know that Accenture. Okay. They don't even allow you to carry a water bottle inside. You can't carry a single thing inside except for yourself.
Water bottle.
Nothing is
That's what.
allowed. Nothing is allowed. That's a very secured ODC where they don't allow you to carry anything. That's because there was a glitch in the system once because of someone doing something, and I think they provided access to someone. That guy came and sat over there. He did something on the system and went off. And it was from the same organization. It's not that he did it intentionally. He was just browsing something and that downloaded something or, opened some website, something like that, where that it cost them a lot. Okay. So they've stopped giving restriction. Your ID cards will provide access only to someone who can enter it. If say, for example, I don't work in that particular project and I swipe my access card, right, by mistake, all the managing directors and your managers will come running to that particular bay. That's how these things work. Okay. So accesses and restrictions are very important when you work in IT. And you have to consider it very seriously, guys. Okay. These accesses, reading from file, not allowing you to write, don't try doing it until and unless you are aware that, yes, this type of access I can request for. Okay.
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 Okay. So this writing from file, reading from file and all, you have different methods which you can do and you can use them. Now, the why I was telling you this is because we are going to have in automation something which we will be using for implementation purpose. But before that, let's get into the concepts over here. Now, until now, we were creating a simple Java project. Now we'll try to create a Maven project. How many of you have created a Maven project before? What is Maven? Anybody is aware?
First time hearing.
First time hearing. Okay. Anyone else?
Also first time.
Okay, first time. Raja, Akil,
First time.
first time.
Yes,
Okay,
yes, sir.
same.
I heard before, but never actually do it.
Okay, okay. Hamza, Farhan.
I've heard of it, but not sure what's the difference between Maven and normal project.
Okay, so first let's go. I don't have a PPT for this, uh, but I will show it to you on some pages. Where is it? I think I opened it before. Okay, let's go here. Let's understand little theory. So what is Maven? First, let's go with it. It's a project management tool that is based on what? POM. POM stands for Project Object Model. It is used for project build, dependency, and documentation. Okay, it simplifies the build process like AND, but it is too much advanced than AND. But Maven is also called one of your build tools. Okay, now where it is used is, for example, you have written an entire framework, or you have written a piece of code that you want to execute. So once you could do it through Maven, you can build it, you can deploy it, and you can also have all your dependencies through it. Okay, but yeah, let us go through it. Understanding the problem without Maven. There are many problems that we face during the project development. They are discussed below. Adding set of jars in each project. In case of Strut, Spring, Hibernate framework, we need to add set of jar files in each project. It must include all dependencies of jar. Have you heard of these things ever before?
Yeah, heard of it, but
Heard of it.
Heard of it. Okay. Now, creating the right project structure. We must create the right project structure such as servlets, struts, etc. Building and deploying the project. We must have to build and deploy the project so that it may work. Now, see, I was telling you yesterday that for Selenium, we downloaded here. We downloaded the jar files, right? And then we added that jar files. Then we added those jar files to our dependency, right? Yes. We added them.
yeah,
How did I
yeah,
add that yesterday? I did a right click. I went over here. Build path. I went to configure build path. And then over here in libraries, after clicking on class path, I added all the external jars. Now, what if every time this test code runs, you have to download all the jars? Okay. Just imagine that, every evening when you log out from the system, and it is mandatory to log out, you log out from the system, all these jar files are deleted automatically. Okay, so what do you have to do? Every morning when you come in, you have to add all these external jars. So what you'll do, see, these, for example, if these were not included in one of the place, what you would have done, you would have kept a list of it, and you have made sure half an hour to 1 hour just going down, keeping this jar, and then every data of yours is clean. It is not even there in your local now. So what first you will do is, first you will download these jar files, and then you'll start adding them one by one. Yes. Confusion?
yes.
Any confusion? Let me show you. So basically, if you want to find a jar file, you just type, say for example, if I want to find, let me give one example. Okay. Let's say java.util jar. Oh, wait. Let's see. Now say if I want to download it, I'm just going to download something from here. Download the java.jar file. Let me click here. It'll take some time to download, and it's here now. If I open it and I just click on here, this one, you'll see how many items I have got? 2. Now in this way, every morning I come and find out where all the jar files are, and I download them. I store them in my downloads. After that, I keep on clicking on the configure build path and start adding them, right? Yes. It will be a tedious work. But what if there is a place where I can just add the names of the jar. And the moment I run this, I build my particular frame or I run my code, everything gets downloaded, which is easier. I store them in one place over here, and every time I run my test case, everything is downloaded automatically. That is easier, or I come and download hundreds of jar every morning and then configure and then add them. Which is easier for you?
The first one is easier.
The first one is easier, right? Maven gives you that. So when you create a Maven project, let's create one default Maven project first. Okay, let's create one Maven project. Let's just create a simple one and use a default workstation. Next. So when you create a Maven project, it is different from what you're creating in Java project. Java project, you just give the name. Here you have to provide two values, definitely mandatory. One is group ID, one is artifact ID. For example, you are creating a framework. So I'll give it here framework test and say some name test. Okay. And I'll just finish it. I don't want anything else. Now I've got this test here. You see the artifact ID. And you also see, you'll find this pom.xml. Right? What does POM stand for? Page object model? Yes, we saw just now. Now in this pom.xml, you can add all the dependencies that you want inside these tabs. And how do you find these dependencies? Maven also provides you a thing known as Maven repository. The most important thing that everybody will use and everybody uses also is your MVN repository. Now in this MVN repository, if I search for say Selenium standalone also, okay, let me search for Selenium. Now Selenium Java and I'm searching for Selenium server. So let me go over here, Selenium server. I'm looking for the latest version. Now see, what is it saying? This is ping, this is ping, this is not your stable version. Let us look at the stable version. Say this is your stable version. You go here, you use this stable version. You have different build tools that are available. Maven is one of them. You also have, see, first is Maven, second is Gradle, Gradle Short, Gradle with Kotlin, then you have SBT, IB, Grape, Langen, Builder. So we want something which is related to Maven. Now Maven will provide you something like this. Okay. Now before this, I'll show you something. If you go to your, here, do you look at here, do you find all the files start with J, right? You will not find anything that starts with S. The moment I add the dependency here, let me just save it. Okay. Okay. The moment I saved it, it should be here somewhere. Okay. You see new folder is created, right? Maven dependencies. And if you open this Maven dependency, whatever is associated with the Selenium server, you will find those jar here. See here, Selenium API, Chrome driver, Edge driver, Firefox driver, IE driver, Java, Opera, remote, Safari, server, support, and whatever is there. Yes? Saw this? If I did not have pom.xml, I would have to add all these jars one by one individually.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this Selenium server, the moment I added it, it is giving me all the jars that are related to Selenium over here.
So this is something like package.json in Node.
This is
I
an
mean,
XML. This is not
something like,
JSON.
yeah.
See,
I
you
mean,
see.
similar.
No, no, no. They are both different. JSON is a different format. XML is a different format. But XML, pom.xml gives you the feature of adding all the plugins, the dependencies, and any features and any this thing, what compiler, I believe, which you can add to pom.xml and utilize it in your code. And even if this entire thing is deleted at night, whatever you have over here, this, the moment you started, you save it, everything is downloaded over here in your Maven dependencies.
Got it. Got it.
Got it? So this is just one way of making your life easy. So pom.xml also in automation, you can run your code from pom.xml. Okay. Now there are these things, but I don't think 4 hours is enough to explain it to you everything. Okay. But let's understand the basic concept of Maven. Now you created a Maven project, everything else, you see the structure also of the program has changed now. When you created a normal project over here, you got only one folder SRC, right? Now you see what do you have? SRC main.java, SRC main.resources, SRC test.java, and you have SRC test resources. Yes?
Yes.
Test resources can contain all your files. Resources are what? The files that you're going to use. Most of the files that you're going to use. And Java, your test Java will contain all your test classes, Java classes, which are related to your test cases. But if you want to create a utility or something else, you can create it under main Java. You want to create base classes, you can create them under main Java. You want something which is a shared one and you want to keep it in resources, you can keep it here. Okay? Get it?
Yes.
Yes. So this is the default structure of your Maven. So it will come till here. You will have 4 folders like this. JRE system library was always there. Then you have Maven dependencies. You have pom.xml. And in source, if you will again click, you'll find this main and test where you can have the whatever you want to create. Okay. Now coming down again to this one. Where is our Maven tutorial? Where did it go? Now, what does Maven do? Maven simplifies the above mentioned problem. It does mainly following set. It makes a project easy to build. It provides uniform build process. Maven project can be shared by all Maven project. It provides project information, log document, cross-reference sources, mailing list, dependency list, unit test reports. It is easy to migrate for new features of Maven. Now, where it is used, I'll tell you, okay? I was telling, right, that the client can have a framework which it provides, right? Yes. Guys, there with me,
Yeah.
you have 1 second, guys. Oh man. Okay. Sorry. Yeah. So you have Maven resources. I just completely forgot the thing that I was talking about. Okay, yeah, now I got it. So you have got this client framework that you have, or you have got a Git repository where each of you are, you're aware about the Git. Have you heard of it, most of you? Those who have not heard, Git is a repository that is provided where all of you, if you're working for the same project, you can store your work every day. Okay, you can actually upload your work over there. Okay, and you can merge your code with the other people code. It can be reviewed and then the merge is approved and you can have it in one central repository. So that is another central repository where you can have your code over there. Now, every evening, all of you gave your code, you merged your code, it was reviewed and then merged and approved and everything. After merging, now you come next morning. What is your first task to do? You have to download the latest piece of code. Why? Because see, you have contributed, say for example, Adiba made some changes. Adiba added some 20, 10, 20, 20 lines of code, right? Then Raja added some 10, 20 lines of code. And these codes, you have to have the latest copy of it. So what you do, you come to office, the first thing in morning you download is the latest code from the repository into your local system. Okay. And then you run the Maven command to build the code. Okay. To check if it is working fine in your system or not, or anything that you're missing. And anything, any dependencies that Raja would have added in his code, that would be automatically downloaded in your system. Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
Got it? So this is where you will use Maven. Now let's see what is there. Install Maven. I don't think you will need it much with your Eclipse and all these things come already. But if for some things you might need it, and if you need it, first thing that you need to do is you can install it. You can download the latest version from here. Once you download the latest version of Maven, you install it. You have to set the Java home and Maven home. You're aware about the environment variables, right? You all have installed Eclipse. Yes?
Is it necessary to use Selenium with Maven environment or not?
It is necessary. No, you can have a Java project. But again, as I told you, right? I worked on both the ways. It's very tedious when you use just a simple Java project. Okay? All your jar files, you have to maintain them. And sometimes you are not even sure what is the latest version of the jar file with which everything is compatible. Okay? See, if you create a Java project, say for example, there's access to your, what do you mean by when I say that, when you add pom.xml, you save it, all your jars are downloaded. See, indirectly, this pom.xml is connecting you to what? It is connecting you to this Maven website, right? It is doing the operation that we did manually. What we did, if I want to download this jar file, I'll also have an option over here. I'll click on this jar and it will allow me to download this jar. Yes, I clicked on jar, it is allowing me to do this jar. But for me, I connected to this MVN repository. Numbers of step I performed, I connected to this MVN repository on my browser. Then I clicked on the jar file. I searched for that particular jar. I clicked on that jar file. But for your code, what it does, it automatically does it that, if it is in pom.xml, the moment you open it, you save it, it will download it. Now, this thing you have to do every time for a simple Java project if you're working with Selenium. Because Selenium will require lot many jars. It is not only these jars. You have multiple things. You have in Selenium, you have got, if you're doing a BDD framework, you have got your test ng jars. Then if you are going with the reports, say for example, you're using extend reports, then you have to download the extend report jar. So these all things, if in a Java project, you have to do them manually. Okay. But with a Maven project, every time you save it, it will be automatically downloaded and you can work on it. And also I told you, right, in page object model, you can also execute your test cases from the page object model. There's a way to run your test suite from page object model also. Pom.xml, right? Any other questions?
Yeah. Savita, can instead of Eclipse, can I use other IDE?
Yes, you can.
Uh,
Many things. See, I have a Visual Studio. If you check, I might be having somewhere IntelliJ also. Okay. You can use any ID that you want, you are comfortable with.
okay.
Okay. But on working on a project, whatever your client is using or whatever your company suggests to you, you have to use those IDs. Okay. For your
Okay.
personal use, you can use any ID.
Okay. Okay. Sure.
So why do people start with Eclipses? It's the most simplest one. Okay. So download Maven. To install Maven on Windows, you need to download Apache Maven first. Download Maven latest software from here. For example, Apache Maven 3.1.1. So you see, you'll have all these folders, Maven directories and files. Add Maven home. You have to add it to the environment variable and then add Maven path in environment variable. And you should be able to do it. Yeah, I think verify Maven. You just have to do MVN version. Let's see if my terminal has it or not. Command not found. What is it? Double slash. No, same thing. Not found. I think it is not there. Command not found. I have not installed it. Eclipse gives you, but I have not installed Maven on my system. So I don't think it will work. Okay. Now let's go ahead. Maven repository. You have three types of repository in Maven. One is your local repository. What is your local repository? The one which is there on your system. Then you have a central repository, the one that is there in the GitHub, right? And then you have a remote repository. Now, the dependency is not found in repository. Maven stops processing and throws an error. The moment the dependency is not found, where do you use this remote repositories, guys? Any idea? You want to see where this M2 directory is on your system? All of you are using Windows?
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm
Yeah.
using Windows.
Yeah. So when you will use pom.xml, if you go to your C drive on users, you will find there a folder which is automatically created, which is known as M2. Okay. I'm not sure about Mac where it will be lying, but here it will be automatically created, which is the folder name is M2. And that .m2 folder will have another folder into it known as repository. In that repository, once you click, you will find a list of jar files that will be there. Also, you'll find some folders. What will be those folders? You have seen, right? When we're talking about Java documentation, right? I was showing you. Yeah. You see this? You have here java.lang.jar, java.lang. So if your file has like this java.lang, then your jar file will be stored in a folder with Java. Then inside that, it will have another folder lang, and then you'll be able to find the jar file. Okay. So it will also have folders. It will also have direct jar files. So when you see folders, don't get confused. Why does it have all this? Let me see where I can find .m2. Yeah. No. Let's see where this goes. I have not installed it. So I have not installed it. I'll not find it. It is telling me to install it using brew, but no, it is not. I have not installed, so I'm not going to find my .m2 folder over here. I can only see it once I install it and then check it. But in your Windows, you can find it in your C drive and the users part. Okay. You'll be able to see all your .m2 things over there. Okay. Let's see then. Where is it? Yeah. So this is how you set it. And after setting, in your settings also, a file known as settings.xml will be generated. That setting.xml actually provides you access. Okay. But if it is on your local repo, that's good. You can actually just access everything over here. That will not give you a problem. But if it's some side of access that, it requires you to give your username over here, that it will be guided to you by whoever is leading you in the project, and he can let you know, does your setting.xml needs you to change the user to it or not. Okay. So you can change the name of the user and it can give you access. Okay, this is your local central repository. One of the repositories is located on web. It has been created by Apache Maven community. So this is your central repository. Okay. Then repo.maven.org, maven2, search.maven, and browse. The central repository contains a lot of common libraries that can be viewed by this URL. Remote repository is located on web. Most of the library can be missing from the central repository, such as JBoss. So we need to define remote repository in pom.xml file. Okay, so this is your remote repository, and then you define it. See, I told you, right? You have a dependency. For every jar file, there is a group ID, artifact ID, version. You need not to mention the scope. They generally remove the scope because it's not needed most of the time. And then you can check it. Okay. So POM.xml, acronym for Project Object Model, contains information of project and configuration information for the Maven to build the project, such as dependencies, build directory, source directory, test source directory, plugin, goals, etc. Maven reads the pom.xml file, then executes the code. Before Maven 2, it was named as project.xml file, but since Maven 2, it is renamed as pom.xml file. Okay. Okay. Now let's see what you can have in pom.xml. This is important, guys. Okay. You need to understand the pom.xml. Wherever you create a project, you need to understand what a pom.xml has. So first it will have your project. It is the root element of pom.xml. See, root element of project, right? So once the project is the root element, so you will close also project at the end. Okay. Then it is saying model version, sub element of project. You can have it, see model version 4.00. Then group ID. Group ID is something that we gave it. Okay. You can change it also over here, framework test. Okay. Then artifact ID is a value that we gave. Okay. Then it is a sub-element of project. It specifies ID for the artifact. An artifact is something that is either produced or used by the product. Example of artifacts produced by Maven for project jar, source and binary, distribution and vars. Version, it is the sub-element of project. It specifies the version of artifact under given group. So you have a version 0.0.1 for snapshot. If you create the same thing, I think, or you store it, I think you can update the version number here. Then coming down, Maven file with additional element. These elements are packaging, name, URL, dependencies, dependency, and scope. So you see, I created dependencies. Inside these dependencies, I can add multiple dependency that I want. Just come down here and copy paste the dependency that you want. Dependency is nothing but your jar files that you need for your project. Okay. Then scope, if you want to keep it as compile, provided, runtime, test, and system. But most of the time, they don't keep the scope. Okay. Okay. What else do we have? See here. You have artifact packaging. Packaging, how do you want to keep it? Do you want to use it as a jar file? You want to use it as a var file? You can keep this as a packaging. Then name, Maven Quick Start archetype, the one that we did not use. So let's leave it. And then the URL, whatever you want to use. Okay. Then you have your dependencies. So it's downloading a JUnit dependency. The version that it is downloading is 4.8.2 and the scope that it's giving is only testing. Okay. Let's move on. Example, we can create a simple Maven example by using generate command of ambient tool. To create a simple Java project using Maven, you need to open command prompt. Okay, we'll do one thing. Tomorrow we'll install Maven and we'll check. I have to check how do I install it on Eclipse, and then I'll show you how to do everything through command prompt rather than from your Eclipse. Okay. Hello.
Okay.
Okay. Meanwhile, I think I've given you 2 programs. I gave you this one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure if I've given you this one. Next half an hour, I want you guys to try these programs. Please try these programs in the next half an hour. And also please please share with me these programs so I can give it to you. I can review them, okay? Please upload everything on Git. And those who are not aware of Git, please share with me these zip file. Put it all together in a zip file and give it to me. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. Please write this program.
Also, Savita,
Mhm.
if we can get the recording because there might be some part that we miss.
Yeah. That is something which Sachi can provide you. Okay.
Okay.
Okay? She's the one who is, I think, recording it. So I think she'll provide it to you guys.
Okay, sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'll take care of that.
Savita,
Yes.
I think the one that you paste into the chat is the older practices.
Same thing? Is it? What I gave today
Uh,
morning?
the one that you pasted, we already done it yesterday.
No, not the down one, the reading from a text file and all. You did it yesterday?
We already done it just now.
Okay. So this one is it then? Oh, I'm not sure this one is the correct one, but have I given you this also? Because I thought, okay, we did not cover this topic, so I thought I did not give it to you.
Hi, team. Everyone, are you there? Am I audible?
Hi.
Yeah, you're there.
Yeah, yes.
Okay. So I just wanted to inform you all that the recordings will be shared with you through mail. We'll be sharing it with you. And secondly, I also wanted to request every one of you to stay back for a discussion for about 5 minutes after we end with this session. So once Savita is done, please don't leave. I just wanted to have a word with you all. So please just give me 5 minutes for that. And once the discussion is done, you can leave for the day. So please stay back for 5 minutes.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
Guys, you continue with this one and we'll take up next topic tomorrow, okay? Meanwhile, Sachi, you can continue discussion with them. I'll drop off.
Okay. Thank you, Savita.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, thank you.
Hello. Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hello.
Okay, so team, I just wanted to have a brief feedback from all of you. Like, how are you finding the training? How is everything going on?
For me, okay, all good.
Okay.
For me as well, I find it very informative and helps me to refresh back to Java.
Okay. Anyone else?
For me, For me, it's good and it's easy to understand what she taught us.
Mm-hmm. Noor, Mohammed Farhan, Serlina, Akil.
Yes. I mean, it's a good way to refresh the Java. So I think Savita cover more than that.
Okay.
For me as well, it was a good. Savita is a good. Someone who's very good at explaining stuff. Just on my side is quite fast paced because I've not learned about Java before. But yeah, overall it's a good.
Okay. In that case, Noor, you can definitely connect with Savita. You can just inform her. She'll help you out.
Alright, sure.
Yes, for me as well. So, it was good to learn, good to refresh everything. Well, I'm also new to Java actually after after a long time. So, yeah, sometimes it is fast paced. So I think after the recording session being shared, I think I can revise it by myself also. Yeah, that's all from my side.
Okay, thank you. So, is anyone left?
So for me, I think it's really informative, and as Serena just said, so my position is same as Serena. Yeah, that's what I think.
Okay, Idris, are you there? Azulia, Idris, am I audible?
Yes, me.
Okay. Yeah, so would you like to share your feedback?
I think it helped me refresh my knowledge about
Okay.
Java. I think it's a good session.
Okay. Thank you. So, thank you so much, everyone, for sharing your valued feedback. So, I guess as Savita has already given you a task, and you can continue working on it. And once you're done, you can just ping here, and then you can wind up for the day. And once again, I don't know what happened today, but we are required to keep our video cameras on. So please, for tomorrow's session, I request everyone, when you join, please keep your cameras on. I hope I'm clear over here.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good day.
Thank you, Sanchi.
Thank you.
You do.
Thank you. You too have a good day. Bye.